ask questions. So we're gonna wait 1 minute or two for anyone to have the opportunity to join. We're also live on YouTube. I think it's gonna be a pretty packed week, given that we have a lot of exciting features that are gonna be finishing soon for the year's end, and yeah, that's pretty much. I'll say a lot of the features that we're gonna present this week and in the next months are gonna change a lot of the depths of the product. I'm thinking about data tables. I'm thinking about row apps and a few other things. It's really enable a lot of new use cases that you couldn't do before. So pretty excited to show them. And yeah, I think we're gonna be able to start right away. I'm I I think a lot of you watch this on YouTube with the replay, so no need to wait for everyone. But again, we do this every week at the same time, so 5:45 p.m. Um, on CUT time, so on Friday. So myself, I worked on what I call the raw app or full code app builder. It's really nearing the end. I'm going to share my screen. I think a lot of what I've been working on lately is let me check just I can go live. Um, right. Um, Actually, everything is working, and you can actually find it as a secret URL. It's deployed for everyone. That's /apps_row/add. It's just that until we make it available directly from the home page, consider that it's super alpha and that things may break, and it's more of a feature preview than something that you should use. But I expect that we're going to be able to make it available from the home page and make it an alpha starting next week. So what I've been working on this week is a lot on actually making AI being able to build full apps. So actually the feature in particular that I've been working on a lot those last few days is history, which is a way to basically go back in time and see the multiple stage of development of your app. And most importantly, it allows you to go back and every time the AI make any transformation to restore at any point. What I'm going to show you is a live showcase of the AI building a to-do app. And well, I think we have a small issue. Let me check. Oh,
You can try with Claude, maybe it will work better.
oh, I see.
I think it's an issue with the GPT model.
Are you sure we're using? Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see. Cool. So the way the way it works is basically it's like in any AI models where we just have tools that tell the AI that he can fetch a file, they can modify the file, they can modify the backend files. One thing that make Windmill particularly suitable for this kind of full stack apps is that we kind of solve very well the problem of defining well-made unit backend runnables, be it like flows or like scripts. So our full app builder can focus on the interesting things, which is just the front end. And so because of that, we probably have something that is a bit nicer than a lot of the other players in the space, which are focused on building full Next.js apps. Here, the app builder really focused on building front end, and the front end is actually built in your front end, so it's done. There's no need for a sandbox or anything. It's actually done live using ES Build, and so it's faster, it's more convenient, and a lot of the code that the AI needs to generate is actually just focus on full static HTML page, which AI are very good for. So as I'm talking, you can see the AI just doing like diligent work to do everything. And the really cool thing that it can do it. It also do the proper backend runnable to get the to-dos and do everything. So it doesn't work every time, but I would, let's try and see if it works this time. And we're gonna show how it works. Well, you see, it works, and actually what it does is it calls those backend runnable. And if I show you the code, it actually do the right thing. Uh, Interesting. So it has changed the content, but you cannot see it here, which is another bug that I'm fixing. But the backend runnables here basically are for getting the to-dos, which is using get state. The AI was able to read our documentation, understand how the Windmill client work. Same for adding a to-do, and everything is done with the backend. One thing that Diego is going to show you is the work on data tables. And a lot of the work next week is going to be focused on actually having a third fundamental unit of abstraction in the raw apps, which is data. And so you're going to see the list of data tables, which we basically recommend the AI to use. So it's going to be like the full thing of like front end define what is going to be shown to the user, back end define the back end logic, and data define where you store your logic. And so a lot of the here right now, they're basically doing a small hack using Windmill to get the state. But the way once it uses data table and is going to be aware of the context of data table, it's just going to use data table to store and read and do everything with pure SQL, and it's going to be super elegant. The other thing that I cannot show you right now because it's not on app.windmill.dev yet, but that is working, is the ability to see the restore in history at any point. So if the AI has done a mistake, you'll be able to restore at any point and just be able to iterate like this. So that's all for me for this week. You can see why it's in alpha. There's a few tweaks to do, but I'll say all the hard problems have been solved, and we're just working on making sure it's in a ready state for anyone to use. Yeah, and the last thing is it works really well with local dev, so you can just use Cloud Code and do local dev and have like a full local stack that preview your changes locally. It also works super well. So maybe Diego, do you want to follow up and talk about data tables?
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. Yeah, seems to work. Yeah, so data tables is now live. You can use it on latest. I think it's been released. So you can, for a reminder, you can create your own data tables, your own databases inside the Postgres instance. So no need for external databases. You can just do like data table db3, and it will guide you through. Like it's literally one click, and yeah, you have a working database out of the box. Right now, I'm working on the schema, so you can now create schemas. So it's called this test, and this will create a schema, and you can create a table in it. So yeah, really convenient. So your data table has a name, and you can reference it. So main is the default data table, so you can reference it without like that, and you can see that Windmill auto detects it. So you can see that it's used as a data table, but it doesn't know yet what it's doing. So once I do that, I now have an SQL parser which detects that it's doing a select from analytics. So, and if I click this, well, analytics doesn't exist, but if I do that, it will go directly to my table front. Well, there was only one table. You get the point. Oh, weird. Oh, I changed the tables. Okay. So yeah, and if I do an insert, yeah, you can see that it auto detects it, and it's now a write. So yeah, pretty cool. You can see like very clearly what it's doing. For example, you can clearly see that writing to analytics, reading from friend, and yeah, the data flow is really clear now. One thing I've added since last week is support for DocDB. for data tables in DocDB. So now you can just use this syntax or this one if you named it. And yeah, it works. Okay, it doesn't work, but it works. Yeah. That's pretty much it for data tables. It's not complicated to use. It's just like very convenient. So you don't have to have anything else. One thing I didn't mention though is this syntax now works with Duck Lake. So you can just do the same. And yeah, it detects the Duck Lake here. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't talk about the arguments. So you can interpolate the arguments like that. And you'd think this is unsafe because it's SQL injection and stuff. Now, it's this is a special syntax in TypeScript, and it's automatically transformed to transformed to this. So yeah, it gets transformed as a proper argument. So no injection. Yeah, that's pretty much it for data tables. Another thing I've been working on is the S3 caching. So you had a flag S3 that you could use in most of the SQL languages like that, and it will not return the result of the query. It will return SQL file which you can open, and what you're expected to do is to connect the output to a new step and then process it. So yeah, and then it processes it. But the thing is that the content of this didn't change, and it still reruns because even though the content of the file didn't change, the name of the file changed because it's the UID of the job. So now you have a new option in the cache, which will ignore this the name of the file. It will just check if the contents of the file changed, and if it didn't, then it will not rerun. Well, it does it here for the first time, I guess. But if I do it now, yeah, instant. So yeah, pretty cool. And last thing, yeah, you can assign the public URLs, and you have public URL to your S3 file. Yeah, pretty much it for me. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Just before you switch, so you mentioned schema very briefly, but schema are the gist of it is that for data tables are going to be, we expect you to create a lot of data tables, which you will want to have a way to group them and to say that they belong to one namespace. The good thing is that there is a good abstraction for that in database, which are schema. And so one of the nice thing is probably you will want to quickly select that tables for row apps to say, I want my row apps to use this group of tables, and you're going to be able to just say, well, add those tables belonging to the schema, in the row app much nicely, and it will be a lot easier to categorize and having many different data tables in the same workspace. So you don't have to use schemas, but if you have a very large numbers of data table, they're going to quickly become more relevant and useful. Where especially if you have lots of row apps that do different things, then you will want to have them not pollute the main namespace. It's going to be super convenient. So yeah, Farhad, if you want to follow up.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. You see? Yeah, okay. So yeah, the first thing I want to show is it's still it's not merged yet, but I created a folder at the root of the repository, so the Windmill repository, to give you an easy access to all our system prompts that we are using on the front end for the AI chat, and also what we generate when you do a Windmill init, so when you start working locally. So it has everything that is available to you. So for example, all the CLI commands you can use, all the Python and TypeScript client functions that you will be able to use on your scripts, and also like instructions for every language. So like for example in TypeScript to have an exported main function extra. So feel free to check it out, and it also allows us to clean a little bit our code on the front end and CLI to like have a single source of truth. So yeah, feel free to check it out. And other thing I worked on, which I talked about a little bit like 2 weeks ago, is an improvement on the flowchart. So now we use a single tool to like write the YAML of the flow, so which makes it like more efficient in terms of tokens, and also it's like a little bit faster. Let's let's try it out. So yeah, as you can see, it made the changes, and you can test it. And yeah, I will be quick on this one. This is pretty much it. Also feel free to try it out and give us feedbacks. And one other small thing is now on the MCP server, MCP URL you will generate, you can also include like documentation endpoint that is only available to enterprise. But we will maybe work on making it available on the open source side, on the community side. But yeah, so this is the endpoint we also use on our AI chat. And yeah, that's it for me. I don't know if anyone else has something to show.
I can go next.
Yeah.
I share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So you now have access to a tutorial dashboard. Depending on your role on the workspace, you have different kinds of tutorial. The idea is to allow you or other member of your teams to onboard easily on a different concept of Windmill. For now, this section is a bit empty, but we will add new tutorials on the go, from a very easy to do tutorials to more advanced. So if you have any tutorial you want us to add, feel free to tell us. And yeah, so this will allow you to better understand our concept of Windmill, whether it's you or other member of your team. That's it for me. You go? Do you want to go next?
Sure. I mean, I don't have anything to show. I'm working on a internal system so that we can easily track all customer messages. And it's pretty cool because I get to use a bunch of recent features we just released on Windmill, such as data tables, which Dico just showed. But I'm not going to say much for now. I'm still working on it, and I'll probably talk about it again in one or multiple weeks. Don't know if anyone else, yeah?
I would say that the biggest change is for our customers. I might not be the first one to respond every time now, because we're gonna do triage a bit more efficiently. So that's gonna be the biggest user-facing change you're gonna see from those improvements. But yeah, I think that's it for this week. If you have any questions, right now I don't think we have anyone on the Discord channel to ask questions, but yeah, next time, if you want to ask questions, come join our Discord. We're happy to respond to any questions. I think the features that we're developing are going to introduce new ways to develop things on Windmill, which is going to raise questions as well. We're doing a bit better than we've learned from experience, and now documentation is pretty exhaustive before we release the changes. So there should be everything you need to know on the documentation, but still, feel free to ask us for any question that seems relevant about the new use cases. I think, for instance, one of the things that Diego is working on as well is we had a big guide page on how to use storage on Windmill. and that made sense prior to data tables. But with data tables, then actually there is a new best pattern to do, and it's to leverage a lot of data tables a lot more efficiently. So it's gonna be simplify a lot of use cases, and we're gonna very excited to see what you're gonna do with them. And because it's year end, we're gonna do one weekly next week, but I think we're gonna probably skip the ones during the holidays. So see you next week, but then see you next year, and everyone have nice holidays.
See you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye.